This is the Darren Green Show. Welcome to the Darren Green Show. I'm your host, Darren Green, here to give you another stellar podcast. How you guys been? Me, you know those mornings where you just don't feel like getting out of bed? That was today. I had a slow morning. I didn't eat nothing yet, child. I had to make sure I get this podcast done, make sure I get these topics out the way, and all that, and all good things. I wanted to start recording my podcast with my headphones on because I don't really get to hear everything, just like them dogs in the background, child. I'm so sorry you can hear that. I wanted to hear myself because last time I was making movements with my hands and it was kind of picking up on this mic right here. So I'm going to try to stop making hand movements because that makes a lot of noise. When people listening to it, they will find it annoying. So I'm just going to monitor that by having my headphones on today. So that was a lot to say. Anyway, before we get into anything, if you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to get notified of all of my videos, which will only be podcasts now. Like I said before, I'm not doing these reaction videos. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, this, that, and the third, look, thank you. Thank you so much. It really means a lot that I'm getting listeners. We had a great week, a great month, actually. I wanted to, when I was looking at my statistics throughout the month, almost every day, if not one download, at least about 5 or 10 a day this month, which is a great thing because, I strive so hard to get viewers and to get people to listen to this podcast. I put so much work into it and I do have authenticity in my work and I would love to see people listen and, have an interaction. The interaction part is not there yet, but that comes in time. But I'm just glad I got listeners, and I'm glad that you like this show enough to, hit that download, because that download means a lot. I don't download just anything on my phone, child, because I only got like 16 gigabytes on this phone. But anyway, also be sure to follow my Instagram and Twitter. That is at TDGS official. All of this is in the description of from wherever you're listening to podcasts at. Okay. And also here's a word from my sponsor. Interested in poetry? Check out Empty Canvases by Jeramiah Harris. This poetry book talks about battling depression. It's about creating a better version of yourself while dealing with depression or anxiety. You can buy Empty Canvases on Amazon in the Kindle store for just $8.99. The link will be in the description from wherever you are listening to this podcast. Okay, let's get into this intro. Now, I'm going back to school in the next 4 weeks. Can't wait. I'm tired of being home, as you can tell. Well, I'm not really that tired of being home, but I definitely enjoy having my own space in college and actually, working on things and always being busy. Me being busy I was very busy this summer, though. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this summer went by really fast, faster than last year. I did a lot more. I did the internship. And I think that's what took up my time, which is great. I mean, next summer I will be not doing an internship because I feel like I just haven't had the time. I haven't had time to just breathe. You get what I'm saying? Just breathe and just sit down and relax and actually think for myself for once. No, it's just work. And when I come back home, I go to sleep. But that's the price to pay, to being successful. And, I have a lot of stuff on my belt. And I also wanted to incorporate something new into the podcast. I want to stop cursing because I'm trying to get employed. This is not going to be my one source of income if this podcast even takes off. But I also want to have a job as well. And you know how jobs are with social media. So you're not going to get no cursing from me. I might end up deleting some episodes, child, if I did use the harsh swear words. But yeah. Sorry. I'm going to school in 4 weeks, which I'm very excited about. I actually got in contact with my roommate. This is a first because, child, when I tell you, I'm usually the first person there, and it's about 5 weeks in, and then they just pair me up with a roommate, just any old body. So it's refreshing to actually have a roommate that's kind of interactive and we'll probably text later on and to talk about, because we actually are going to have our own bathroom. So that means we have to pitch in on, the toilet papers and the cleaning supplies. Because I've been to a school where we had shared a bathroom with other people. That's when I was in the suites in my first school. And let me tell you something, my nice ass. Oh, well, that's not a heavy swear word. I'm still going to use that. But my nice behind going to sit there and put my toilet paper in the little thing. Because, I thought it was a mutual agreement that, hey, we're going to put the toilet paper on there one time and maybe next time someone puts it on there. No. Let me tell you what these kids did. They sat there and had their own toilet paper and they brought it out when they was about to take a poo. And then they noticed that I left mine on there. Oh, so they was using that. Yeah, they definitely used it for the free. I'm like, oh, so that's what we doing. I had to pick up some tricks. You get what I'm saying? I had to pick up some the things that people were doing. So yeah, we'll be in agreement whether whatever happens. We'll have to bring my hand soap in every time I have to use the bathroom because it's only 2 squeezes. Like, you get what I'm saying? But we'll just see. I mean, this person is. I mean, I read he contacted me through this thing on the website called Res Life, and he requested to put his number on there so we can actually communicate before we actually move in. And okay, I was like, okay. So he seems like, and in his profile said he likes to be clean and this, that, and the third, and everything is what I want, in a roommate, because I've had so much just negative experiences with certain people. Ugh, and I'm not going to say no names, but I'm going to say I had some terrible times, child. Not even just the fact that you just don't get along with your roommate, but the fact that your roommate is just the smell. I can't. I really can't. I tried, but I can't. And I had to make sure I had to get out of there. I've literally went through, let me see, 1, 2, 3. This will be my 4th roommate since I've been to this college. Let me tell you, I'm very picky when it comes to people, because I'm the only child. I had my own room since I was 19. That's how long I had my own room. So to come into a space where you have to share a space with somebody else, that is taboo. Honey, I don't do that. So yes, I'm gonna be very picky, and if I don't like you, child, switcheroo. But no, I don't. I'm going to have high hopes for this one, because I do want to keep a roommate. Like, I don't want to, keep on moving. I hate moving to new spaces, new people, new this, new that, new rules, whatever. This last one I will say was good, but I had to move out of that dormitory, and obviously he wasn't gonna come with me, child, because I'm in a more expensive. Not as expensive as West Campus, but a more expensive dormitory. Yeah, I had to get out of there. But let me not dwell on that, child. Let's talk about Pose. So I seen it yesterday, actually. I had to make sure I watched Pose last night because I knew I wanted to talk about it. And it had me in tears. It really did. I spoiler alert, but, Ricky getting, being diagnosed with HIV just definitely was a chilling moment for me. And I loved how him and Pray Tell are kind of, I feel like now Pray Tell is going to have this mentor situation with Ricky now, being that they both have HIV and how they're, going to deal with it and stuff like that. And I was seeing the previews from next episode. It was, and he feels that, he can never find love. Who is ever going to love me? Because obviously, once you have that disease, it's very isolating. Like, and you have to let people know, and you can't really do the things that you were doing before you got the disease. So, it's a big change for certain people. I love how this conversation, it always swayed you to, hey, get tested. You got to get tested. You get what I'm saying? His friend, and that's real bad too, because he was cheating on the person that he caught AIDS from. That's sad. I mean, at the end of the day, you can call it karma or whatever. I'm not the type of person to say, oh, karma, but that's just the reality of it is. Stay with your partner. Don't cheat, because that stuff will happen. Life will humble you. That's a real teacher moment right there. Don't sit there and don't be no hot boy, because you'll get that hot. Okay. Yeah, so it was just a chilling moment. I love also the activism in this episode where Blanca's, I'm saying that right? Yeah, Blanca's a landlady for the nail salon. You know, obviously she's homophobic and racist and all that. And what they did was they made a big giant condom thing that blew up and they put it over her house. That was creative, and I thought it was funny as hell. That was a little funny moment. It was a lot of camaraderie in there because, you know, we had the other houses in there. Elektra and her people was there helping out, even though Elektra wasn't doing nothing as usual. It was a lot of moral support, and, you know, that's what you got to do, y'all. Y'all got to stick together, and that's what I like about the show. Like, it tells people that, hey, you know, this situation happened in the 90s, in the 80s, and those people, you would think the people in that time would just be like, oh, whatever. This, that, and they stand together. We're not doing, and I cannot stress this enough. We're not, and we need to gain that back, because, child, they are coming for us, especially the black queer. Okay, but that's a whole nother. It's a whole nother story, child. But anyway, let me just move on. I finished Orange is the New Black. Now, I will say this. I promise you guys that there is a time on this video somewhere when I get to editing that's going to tell you when to skip if you have not watched Orange is the New Black, because I'm going to do the full review now. This is the spoiler review. Okay, ready in 3, 2, 1. And it's also in the description too if you're listening to the podcast. Okay, so Orange is the New Black. I just finished it. I'll be real honest. I'm not impressed. I was not in. Maybe it's not the story. Maybe it's not the show. But I'm like, there's certain things that just wasn't resolved. I was hoping for a resolution. Maybe not a happy ending, but just some kind of a resolution of what the hell has happened to these people. I mean, I thought the way the season was going to go, Chapman was going to figure out a way to market her situation and try to gather and talk to all the people that was a part that she knew, whatever, that was from Lynchville, and then it was going to be like a big thing. I'm like, oh my God, that's how Orange is the New Black got started. No, it just ended off with just Chapman and her privilege behind, just all over the place, just sad about, and the privilege with her in this season. This girl went through 2 to 3 jobs. And it took Cindy about it took her a couple tries to even get one job. And at least Chapman has, you know, she works with her dad or whatever. And then she ended up in the end, she was working at Starbucks. I'm like, okay, downgrade. But I'm like, and then you pick Alex in the end. Like, I really thought that she was not going to be with Alex towards the end, because I really thought that she was going to move on, grow up, obviously know that Alex is a burden to her, that is true. You have to wait 2 years for her, and then just the back and forth, and now she done moved to Ohio, and you still trying to keep things going. I just did not agree with that. My whole thing with Tasty, her lawyer couldn't help her or whatever. Well, I'm talking about the real Tasty now, because this show done came out now, and we know that it was fake. You get what I'm saying? Is anybody going to try to free Tasty if she's still alive? I'm not sure if she's alive. Please help me. Let me just look her up. I don't know. I mean, is there any, you know, they talked about the Poussey Foundation. That was a real thing because they promoted it at the end of the show. But I'm like, where is she at? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, is she still alive, and did she get exonerated? Because that don't make no sense how she is still, you know. I looked her up. I mean, there's no, like, because, you know, my news is on the hotline, child. Got the hot press, child. Got this internet right now. Well, the real one is not showing up on here. Hold on. Okay, so I don't know if she's alive or not. The internet is just messing up right now. but they need to free her. And then the whole thing, and it was so that one part I will say that was just so just like reverse karma, like karma on karma, because you sat there what she did to Cindy. She went there and sent a note to her child saying that that's this, Cindy is really her child, and that just ruptured her to cause her to be homeless. And then when you want to have another witness because they didn't believe Suzanne, your only hope was Cindy, but you sent her off. There's no contact of her, and it ain't like she was really gonna help you at this point. You get what I'm saying? After what you did. So that was a good moment. And like the season had good moments, I will say. I mean, the season had me teared up, but they really had me teared. And I'm going to be real honest with you. Okay. It was the parts where they was at the detention center for the, illegal immigrants. That was just such a sad and just messed up situation. And I know they did this just for shock value of what's going on, really, because this stuff is really going on. But the fact that, I don't know how true it is, but the fact that they had freaking kids that were considered illegal and wasn't born in this country, they had to go in court. It was a baby. Now I don't know how true this is. You get what I'm saying? Because people, shows and movies, they like to beef up some situations. But I mean, this show was based on a true story. And you mean so they always been separating kids from the parents. That's always been happening. And the fact that they're having kids speak for themselves, even without a lawyer, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this country? We really doing that? Yeah. It was a sad moment. And you get what I'm saying? Like, people that feel like, oh, they need to get out here. They need to watch this damn season, because at the end of the day, you will have a change of heart. And if you don't have a change of heart, child, your heart is cold. Because that I'm sorry, them scenes had me in my bag. I was in my bag the entire time. The one where her kids was put into the system because she couldn't even come to her court date because she was detained. And the fact that she tried to come back, she tried to cross the border again, but then got hurt, and the man just left her there, like, just to die. And and that was another thing too. I would at least would have wanted them to, have a little bio of every important character in there to say what they're doing now and what's going on, if they're dead, if they're alive. No information. It's like this was fake. I mean, obviously it's not fake, but it just seems like it was. Then the whole Judy King situation, because I was theorizing about that. I'm like, so obviously Judy King is a Martha Stewart caricature. I mean, they said that, the girl that was cooking with Snoop Dogg. So I'm like, was Martha Stewart really she was in that jail? She was in Lynchville? I mean, did she really go through that? I don't know. Because I guess they couldn't use it, because I guess she said, no, you ain't gonna have me on there, so we're just gonna have a fake you. I don't know. It was a lot that was going on in this season. Some parts that I did not like. The girl with the child. Now, I understood Red. Red is getting old, and she ended up later in the show, you'll find out that she has dementia, and her mind is going. And that was sad to see her go, because it's just like, she was such a strong character, a strong-willed character. She had her mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was strong. And to see her down in her luck, you get what I'm saying? See her forget things and not cook anymore and just, mope around and stuff like that. It's sad. But then the girl with the child, she was getting on my damn nerves. I don't even know her name, because I never did like that character. She was just a little bit too wacky for me. And you just have an issue with just coming to the terms of reality. I cannot stand people that's like that. Like, it happened. Your child is dead. You gotta grieve. And I'm glad that the girl Nichols, or whatever, I think that's her name, she let them go. She let her go, because that was, I mean, I'm surprised she didn't go crazy. Because she was dealing with Red, she was dealing with that girl, and it was making her crazy. I was like, you know what? You gotta go. you gotta go. You gotta get out of my life, child. I don't care. We gotta keep this shit moving. Yeah, it was so sad though. Oh my God. I wish it was, I don't know. But then towards the end, you know, with the whole Tasty situation, when she was about to actually end her life, and I'm glad that she didn't. Like, it was the fact that Pennsylvania graduated when she thought that she wasn't, and then she ended up dying. Which, now watching it, I'm like, Miss Actor that played Pennsylvania, I mean, she had a good season. She had a good season. She really changed her life around. I mean, she ended up killing herself in the end because, you know, she felt like she was going to fail, but she didn't fail. But she was good. I don't know, child. Maybe it was something behind the scenes, child. I don't know. But, to see that she graduated, it just gave her life. Like, she was like, you know what? I'm not going to end my life. I'm going to help others. And that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Because at the end of the day, there's just nothing else but to help people. And I hated how Tasty was just so negative in the beginning. Like, nobody wanted to mess with her. Like, she was, no. She didn't want to mess with nobody. She was about to fight anybody. She got Madison. She got Madison dumb self out. Which I'm so glad she did not last the entire season. Because she got on my nerves last season. But I didn't like how she was in the beginning because that just wasn't the Tasty that I knew. And, well, the Tasty that I watched. But to see her come back into herself, you know, despite all that has happened, and it's just a real messed up situation, which, like I'm saying, free Tasty, because that's just wrong. The people literally know that what happened. And then I feel like the warden could have did a little bit more. I felt like the warden could have definitely did a little bit more. You mean you couldn't get in contact with Cindy? What? Does she not have a parole officer? Is that parole officer not checking on her? Because if the parole officer can't get in contact with the ex-con child, she going back to jail. They're going to find her. So, I don't know. And I hate that it just seemed like it ended on a note that was just, like, okay. It was, wow, nothing too bad happened, but nothing really all that good happened. But I guess that's just how the story really went in real life. We have to, face the reality of how things happen. I mean, it's not going to be hunky-dory. It's not going to be a good story. It's not a good story. It's not going to be like this happened. And, I don't know. I mean, I would like to see the part where Chapman created what is now called, and we kind of got that reunion when Alex and Nichols were talking to each other and said, oh, well, maybe one day we can all come together, have this reunion or something like that. I was like, oh, they're talking about the show. But nevertheless, that's what happened this season, and that's it. I was the last episode of the last season of Orange is the New Black, and that's just, they're like the grandfather of Netflix original shows. So to see them go and this is it, I don't know what else to watch. I mean, they done canceled everything else. All I got is Dear White People and 13 Reasons Why. Oh, and On My Block. So I got three shows. Other than that, it's just this and Black Mirror. But I can't rely on them. I cannot rely on them. Because they'll come out with 3 episodes. And I'm like, excuse me? If y'all don't go back in that dang studio, if y'all don't go back on set and record something. But let's change the subject because we are we're doing good on time. So 10-year-old black boy charged with aggravated assault after white peer gets hit with a dodgeball. Now the mom claims that the son had health conditions, especially towards his head, so he cannot receive any injury to the head because it could be fatal to him. This is her words. And that the black boy, 10-year-old, purposely hit him in the face. Now, they said this was a game that's like dodgeball. It's not because dodgeball is illegal in, I think, this country. I know it's illegal in Jersey. I'm not sure about the rest of the country, but dodgeball has been outlawed in schools because of its violent nature and because that it is unsafe. And I do agree with that. Because when you're playing dodgeball, you try, don't hit him in the face. Because first of all, that's how it used to be. Like, you play dodgeball, you get hit in the face back in the day, child. People didn't care. But now kids are starting to get concussions and actually getting brain damage because of this. It's like, okay, try not to hit them in the face. But it's hard to not hit somebody in the face when you're playing dodgeball because they can duck and then it's boom, ball hit them in the face. Because no one has any training on. There's no training to dodgeball. You just avoid the ball any means necessary. Me personally, I feel that him getting charged aggravated assault is a little bit too much. I'm looking at the courts at this point because the mom had to do what she had to do. Okay, she probably thought that she was going to get like a little settlement check and we just call it a day. The boy gets suspended and there. But no, he's getting an aggravated assault case. Aggravated assault charge. A 10-year-old boy, he'll be in juvie. I'm looking at the courts like this. I'm like, oh, so y'all racist then? I mean, that has to be, it's because he's black. I mean, that's just in they just want to put him in the system. Just sit there and just have him pay this money. He should, and then just move on with your life. I mean, he was in the wrong. He shouldn't have hit him in the face. And maybe he didn't know that the boy had health issues, but still it happened. And, you know, we have to pay for certain things. But not no aggravated assault charge. That's no. I mean, he didn't do it intentionally. He didn't intentionally want to hurt this boy. Or I wasn't there. But 9 times out of 10, these kids are playing dodgeball. They're just playing around. And if you didn't want your son playing dodgeball, you should have told the schools. I would have sued the school too. Because why are you letting my son playing dodgeball? I told you, or did you? Did you tell them that this child has health issues? So it's just like, that it grinds my gears to see stuff like this because it wouldn't happen to a white kid. And that's just, let's be honest. You get what I'm saying? I cannot not tell the truth. You get what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And I don't want to play that card, but that's that card. This happened in Ohio. Child, to be racist there, child. That's what I be saying. And you know what? I always looked at my best friend crazy because, you know, my best friend just had her child. And she said, I only want to put my child in predominantly black schools. Girls are fly up in here. And I was like, girl, like, what? That's so, I mean, that's wrong. That's not wrong, but it's just like, okay, I mean, that's hard to find because, you know, it's diversity is in every school. But she want to be in a school where it's predominantly black kids. No, I seriously looked at her like she was crazy. And then now hearing this, I'm like, you know what? I think she got a point. Because it seems like we're too dangerous to be around them. You get what I'm saying? And we can get charged aggravated assault. So yeah, you know, just you know, good thing to know, good thing to put in your noggin, child. Now, I'm not suggesting any black people should do that, you know, because if cultural diversity is a big thing. I'm more with integration than segregation. That is my, you know, that's me. But if you feel like you want to send your child to a school that's predominantly black because of these reasons, I'm not going to fault you for it. You know, a lot of situations, a lot of things that I'm going to talk about is opinion based. And there's a lot of things that you can have an opinion, but you cannot enforce nothing. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of what these topics are really, you know what I'm saying, are trying to get into. But let's get into these hot topics. I thought I set the mood by just saying that in the beginning. So Lil Nas, let's talk about him. Yay! He made history as officially the longest running #1 song of all time. He beats out Mariah Carey's record for many years. And Mariah Carey sends, well, bloggers are saying that her passing the baton and her posting about it was a little shady because she was making it about her. Like, she was like, oh my God, thank you for inspiring me and thank you for the song making it, the record as long as it has. It was more of thank you this, thank you that for, you know, my stuff breaking the record. It was less of, oh, congratulations, Lil Nas. Because I think that she mentioned that congratulations like one time in that post, and that was a paragraph. Well, that's how she is. I mean, I don't think it was shady. That's just Mariah Carey. You get what I'm saying? Like, she always makes stuff about her at this point. I don't think that she's mad or pressed that, her record was broken. It was bound to get broken. You get what I'm saying? So to see Lil Nas do that, I mean, that's great. I mean, I hope he's not a one-hit wonder. Cause I just seen something online. They said he tried to hit up Uzi to get on a remix, and like Uzi kind of left him on red, but he did like his text, his DM. So that is, he might. You get what I'm saying? I hope he's not a one hit wonder, and I hope these other rappers like embrace him, and hey, you are what you are, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he can get on this song too. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to see his album come out and it's just like no features from no rappers and stuff like that. I mean, he did work with Cardi, which was good, but I mean, that's fine. But I would like to see him work with more male rappers. I don't think Mariah Carey was being shady. I just think that she was just being herself. And that's how she is, girl. That's how she is. Y'all need to get over that. But I think that, I don't know, it had something to do with the Barbs or whatever, because the Barbs are secretly fans of Lil Nas, because y'all sat there and outed him, and now y'all like in his defense or something like that, talking about, oh yeah, that Mariah Carey shady. I'm like, wasn't y'all trying to out him though? I don't know. But let's talk about Mario Lopez. I think that this topic, I just heard about this topic yesterday, and I just wanted to touch on it because it need to be said. Okay, so Mario Lopez faces backlash for saying it's weird and dangerous for parents to support transgender children. Now, when asked about the new parents letting their children choose their gender at an age early as 3 years old, this is what Mario had to say.
I am trying to understand it myself, and please don't lump me into that whole.
No. I see you're not doing that in your household.
No, I mean, I'm kind of blown away too, and look, I'm never one to tell anyone how to parent their kids, obviously, and I think if you come from a place,
maybe you should though, because you seem to be doing something right.
Well, thanks. And I would say if you come from a place of love, you really can't go wrong. But at the same time, my God, if you're 3 years old and you're saying you're feeling a certain way, you think you're a boy or a girl, whatever the case may be, I just think it's dangerous as a parent to make that determination. Then, okay, well then you're going to be a boy or a girl, whatever the case may be, and it's sort of alarming. And my gosh, I just think about the repercussions later on.
Right. And to me, I just see depression because
now he has since suffered backlash for his comments, and all over social media, people are just coming for him and calling him. And I didn't even know that he was conservative before this interview that he had with this Candace. What's her name? Candace Owens lady. I had no idea that he was actually conservative. But let me just say my opinion on this. I have no problem with his opinion. You get what I'm saying? That's his casa. Su casa, you know what I'm saying? However, I didn't like how he criticized parents that do allow their children to choose their gender at age 3. Now, let me interject. Because I got to tell my views. I feel that, me personally, if a child told me at age 3, which is very bizarre, and I wouldn't anticipate that ever happening, because when you're a kid, you don't think about that stuff. You think about playing and having toys. That's what I thought. I thought about playing around, having toys. I didn't even think about no trans or nothing. You get what I'm saying? And that stuff wasn't exposed to me as a child, because the stuff that I watched was cartoons and stuff like that. That wasn't really a big thing. This generation's different, fine, whatever, if you want to call it that. I just don't see a child that's 3 years old that's going to say, parent, mom or dad, like I feel like I'm not a boy, or I feel like I'm not a girl, or something like that. To me, if that was asked about, if a child of mine told me that, I would be like, let's have this conversation when you get a little older. Let's have this conversation when you're at least a teenager. Because I feel like at that age, that's when hormones start raging, and then that's when you truly figure out what type of path you're going to go through. Okay? However, if this parent wants to do that, that's fine. I'm not going to criticize nobody. I'm not criticizing nobody's parenting skills if that's not your child. And we get a little hypocritical with that, because we'll go around and sit there and be like, oh, well, because if somebody criticizes, I'm talking to my black listeners right now. If somebody criticizes your mom or anybody else talking about, oh, you shouldn't beat your kids, you shouldn't beat your kids. Oh, that's my child. You don't raise my child. This is my house. This is what I do. Same situation here. Keep that same energy. I'm sorry. I'm all for this. Is the podcast of keeping that same goddamn energy, and that's probably the sponsor of this podcast. Keep that same energy. Okay. If you feel that this is not the way, you're not forced to do that. If your child comes to you, if they do at 3 years old, which I still feel is just, to me, outlandish. I never heard of a child want that. That is just too young. They're barely talking. 3 years old? I mean, they're barely talking in proper sentences. You get what I'm saying? So, the fact that they know what trans is at that age, I feel like these people, and we're going to get into Miss Candace in a minute, I feel like these commentators and these people in the media will sway the conversation to the kids because kids shouldn't be exposed to certain things. Obviously, you get what I'm saying. We know that. That is a no-brainer. I feel like they're subconsciously trying to sit there and say that this lifestyle is just not the good path, the good way to go. Which, that's your opinion. You get what I'm saying? I have my opinion. I feel like you decide who you want to be when you're adolescents, when you are a teenager. Not when you're a little baby that's 3 years old just now talking. I just don't believe that. Now let's talk about this Candace Owens girl. I think that she was very problematic because I felt like she brought the ignorance out of Mario. I'm not giving Mario any leeway here because he still said some stuff that was just, yeah, okay. But I feel like that host was very problematic. She just filled his head with stuff when she was like, oh, you seem to be doing the right thing as a parent. Because, so it's like, oh yeah, he's the right parent, but these parents are here, they're being bad parents. It's parent bashing. I'm tired of parent bashing. That's why people be telling me, I'm not going to say nobody names, but I be having some friends and family that be telling me how to tell this one person that's not handling their child the right way. They be telling me, you need to tell about that. I'm not telling nobody about nothing, and I ain't got no child, and it's not mine. I don't care how much of the relationship I have with that person or that child. You get what I'm saying? You're going to do what you're going to do. Because the first thing is going to happen, it's just a lot of situations. I feel like she was very problematic. And then she also said stuff like parents are narcissistic. They're narcissistic because her whole reasoning behind it was to say that, oh, the parents nowadays are so convicted in letting their child be what they want that they're so into the new trend that they're almost narcissistic about. Girl, narcissistic. I feel like we need to take time to actually look up what words are. And Candace Owens, she definitely got a lot of backlash. She got backlash as well with this situation because I felt like she was very problematic. And yeah. Now, like I said, my parenting views with this situation, I feel like you can do what you want. As long as you don't hurt the child, you can do what you can teach your child whatever you want to teach your child. If you want them to choose their gender at age 3, who am I to say that you're wrong or right? There is no wrong or right in parenting. As long as you don't hurt the child. You get what I'm saying? As long as you show them the way. And I feel like this situation is not that serious. She literally brought up the conversation. It's not like he had nothing to do with this subject. She just brought it up because I guess they're two conservatives here taking that conservative talk and saying, oh, well, how do you feel about these parents having their child choose their gender? This country, this whole generation is changing. Had nothing to do with him. So yeah, you wanted to incite the beast. You wanted to incite the ignorance, and that's what you did. And Mario sent out a little apology on his little social media because I bet you are. Sorry. I bet you are. Nah, stop the parent bashing. People bash parents all the time. They're trying to do their best, obviously, especially these new parents. They don't know the way. No one is teaching them the right way because they probably was never brought up the right way. You get what I'm saying? But they learn. They're going to learn eventually. They'll find the way. Their child is still living. Their child is still good. I feel as if their child is doing good in school, if their well-being, their safety is good, I feel like that's fine. They want to choose their gender, that's whatever. Because she was making it like, oh my goodness, like it really puts a damper on the child. She was basing it on I'm talking about the Candace Owens girl. She was basing it off of when she was younger, and her friend was tomboys. And I guess our parents didn't allow that. And she said, if I wouldn't have had that, I could have shaved my head. I could have did all this. And then when I grew up and realized that I want to be girly now, it would have been really confused. Girl, bye. At the end of the day, I feel like parents should let their kids be who they are. But see, here we get into that again. You know, I can't tell you how to raise your child. If you want to hide your kids from the world, that's fine. But you can't hide the world from the kids. You just can't. So, at the end of the day, I don't know. It was a lot. That whole interview. And I kept on looking back at it and just like picking out stuff because I had to really dissect this interview for the podcast. And they were just, that was just some dumb stuff that they were just talking about. And that's how these conservatives are. And I'm like, Mario Lopez, a conservative? I wonder how you feel about these detention centers over here separating their kids from their parents. With your conservative buddies now? I seen that on Orange Is the New Black too. The one of the detention center guards. I'm like, y'all some coons, child. I ain't know there was some coons in other cultures now. But y'all some coons. But let's change the subject. Let's change it. I want to talk about Tituss. Yeah, that Tituss. Okay, so he pops off. He pops all the way off on Miss Andy Cohan. It's like, on Andy Cohan after he was asked about Eddie Murphy's homophobic past. Take a listen.
That he is.
Did you get to chat with him at all? Because he was very...
Of course I did. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, of course. Well, no, I just wonder if you got close at all, because he was very problematic for the gays at one point when I was coming up.
I see. He wasn't problematic for Tituss.
Good.
And we had a wonderful time. And we talked about Dreamgirls, and
good.
He should have won the Oscar, I believe.
Yes.
So he was great, and any troubles he may have had with gay people, I guess they're gone because he loved me.
Good. Very good. It's game time, everybody. Lilia White is such an impressive vocalist. What are you saying, Tituss?
Keep going, girl. Do your show.
Such an impressive vocalist that tonight I wanted to...
My first reaction to this, I didn't think it was that serious. Partly because Eddie Murphy did have a past. Let's not forget. You get what I'm saying? Of him saying things that were not so nice to the LGBT community. And I do know, and I love how Laverne in there said, some people change, some people evolve. That wasn't, to me, I don't think Andy is shady. Don't get me confused. Andy Cohan is very shady. But you go on a show, you're going to get asked these questions. This is what we do. I would ask that same question. I'm sorry, Tituss. And I love Tituss. He's funny. But I would have asked that same question. I mean, it's not even just a moment of you just I'm not trying to have you say, oh yeah, F him, this, that, and the third. Like, yeah, he is a little homophobic. It would have been a moment for everyone to let everybody know that, hey, he has evolved. Like, it would have been a good thing if you would have been like, oh no, I mean, he's evolved. He's good with me. So, I mean, well, he should have kept it at, oh, well, he was nice to me, so it seems like he's nice to the LGBT community. Whatever he said, I felt like he could have just said that, but he wanted to be shady. And then he did a tour, honey. He did a tour. He went on the Wendy Williams show and was asked about it, and was throwing some more shade. I don't know. And I said this in the comments too. it seemed like they have other beef, and people were saying they seen the whole episode. I didn't see the whole episode, and they said that he was kind of getting annoyed with the questions that Andy was asking him all night. So maybe that was the last straw. Sure, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like I didn't feel like it was that serious. I mean, come on now. It's basically it's your opinion. You can talk about it however you want to talk about it. It's not going to upset. It's not going to diminish the relationship that you have made or established with Eddie Murphy. You know, if you just talk about that situation. I mean, why not? I mean, have you talked to him about it when you were, working on this movie with him or whatever? I don't know. I mean, Andy just wanted to know. We wanted to know. That's all. I didn't think it was that serious. But apparently Titus did. And I don't know. Now, Andy Cohan can't be shady now. He could definitely be shady. But at the end of the day, that's his job. He is getting paid to talk about this mess. That's why Lil' Kim didn't want to go on the show. You get what I'm saying? That's why some of these housewives be getting snippy with him, because he's doing his job at the end of the day. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Kenya Moore, which is a little bit of quick news before we go. So, Kenya Moore's ex, Matt Jordan, arrested after allegedly punching his girlfriend in the face. Now, according to a document, the woman, Valerie Bell, claims that Matt punched her in the face at the Denny's parking lot last Saturday. And they said that it was witnesses. Her friend was with her. Wow, Kenya really dodged a bullet. That girl dodged a whole bullet, because let me tell you something. I already knew that's how she was. I mean, that's how he was. He seemed like the woman beater type. But now we see it. A little bit of news on, speaking of housewives though, a little bit of news on that. What has happened? Oh, Cynthia had some kind of wine situation, or cellar or something. I don't know what she did, but people were saying that Nene was just like upset about it, or just like argumentative or whatever. And Nene was like, "What? I was congratulating her." Like, y'all want to make Nene out to be the bad guy so bad. I understand Nene was kind of a little bit of a last season, but you know how these housewives go. They hate each other one year, and then the next year they're all lovey-dovey, child. That's all it is. Then they're gonna start hating each other again. That's just how it is. It's entertainment. It's reality TV. That's what they do. I ain't got no issue with it. I ain't got no situation with it. You get what I'm saying? Okay, but I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast. I was a little lazy with the topics, but there wasn't really much to talk about but the Mario Lopez situation. And just stop parent bashing at the end of the day. I want to say, stop parent bashing and stop making other people do that. Shoot. If you got something to say about somebody's parenting skills, you tell them. Until next time, I'm your host, Darren Green, and this is the Darren Green Show, signing out.